Breakfast first. Bruce, good morning to you.
Hi, Paul.
So much to talk about. Are we in election mode now? It seemed yesterday as though we probably were.
Well, in a sense we are, I guess, because so much is going to turn on the carbon tax and the compensation package that the government's got in place, Tony Abbott's response to it. I think we'll see at least a mini campaign playing out right now.
Well, Abbott has said basically this is the way it's going to carry on now until the election. Well,
in a sense, he's on a winner on this one too. It's very hard for the government to make the case for a carbon tax, notwithstanding the horrors that we're probably going to confront in 50 or 60 years if we don't go down the path of doing something serious about climate change. I think the problem, though, for the government is that they aren't as yet really getting into Tony Abbott on substantive issues like where he's going to find the money.
And they always haven't had the opportunity to, because they've created so many fires of their own. Interesting that the rest of the world is not coming in, as we're constantly told they are. In fact, just yesterday, a day after the carbon tax was introduced, New Zealand put the brakes on its ETS scheme.
Yeah, look, and this has always been the problem for the government from the beginning, when the United States and China, India didn't come in at the Copenhagen conference. It became a very hard sell for them to say that it's so urgent. But, you know, a lot of countries are out there putting in place those schemes, and you know, Australia, I think, has got a role to play.
All right, let's talk about why the Prime Minister lied, essentially, and has been lumbered with the carbon tax, because she did a deal with the Greens. Now, I understand that those were the cards that she was dealt, and she's an OK deal doer. But is there no quid pro quo on this? The Greens seem to get away with everything. Why did the Greens not throw her something of a bone when it came to asylum seekers?
This is always the way. You know, the Greens, I guess, are acting like they're a major party, when in fact they're really a fringe party. I mean, they've got a substantial percentage of the vote, but nothing like Labor or the Liberals.
But you can't have it both ways, can you? If you expect to get something in a deal, then you must also be prepared to give something.
Well, the price of purity is impotence, and they could have an emissions trading scheme in place right now if they'd been prepared to do a deal with the government back in 2010. This is a constant problem with the Green Party. You know, they will take, but when it comes to giving, to compromising, to coming out with a solution which works for everybody, they say no. And I think that's something that the Australian electorate should be really focusing on.
Absolutely, because they seem to get away with murder, quite literally. They should have been supporting, surely they should have been supporting Labor over the asylum seeker package.
Well, I think they should have. I think there was an opportunity for this issue to go away, and it would have solved a lot of problems. They could have got the they could have got assurances out of Malaysia that were required, and they basically could have isolated the opposition. Again, they play into their hands, and the worst case scenario here, Paul, is that the opposition at the next election wins control both of the House of Representatives and the Senate, and everything we've been talking about with climate change and so forth goes out the window under Tony Abbott.
Well, some people see that as the best case scenario, I have to tell you.
Well, I'm sure people do, but I'm taking a very partisan position.
All right, last night on Q&A there was an extraordinary display when sadly Simon Sheikh collapsed. Now, we know that he's OK. Have a little look at this. The person that we need to focus on, of course, is sitting next to Simon as he collapses. It is Liberal MP Sophie Mirabella.
Solar panels.
You wouldn't want her to be trapped on a desert island, would you? If you've got a thorn in your foot?
I think it's all right to touch him.
Yeah.
Pat him.
I mean, and in the end she does, but it's like an episode of Contagion, the way she responds.
It's remarkable. Yeah, I don't know if you'd really want to have her retraining as a paramedic or something like that.
I don't
clearly
think
not
there's
her
any danger
area.
that she's going to look at that as an alternative career, but hopefully she'll be looking for an alternative career soon, would you say?
Well, she may well be, who knows. But, you know, Simon Sheikh's a great guy, and, you know, he's very robust, and I think he'll be back on deck very soon.
Good. Bruce Hawker, thank you very much for joining us.
Pleasure, Paul.
All right.